Hi everyone, welcome back to Mr. Free Hugs. I'm Chris, and I'm going to share with you guys this beautiful 2019 Holiday Barbie. This year is the 60th anniversary of the Barbie doll, so I'm going to keep the vibes of this video very positive. I do have a review of the African American version, where I review the doll and show you guys how to unbox. So this will be my second time unboxing the 2019 Holiday Barbie. So I'm going to walk you through the process of how I unbox my dolls carefully so that I can customize them and reattach them into their box for display. This doll is intended for children, so I'm not going to critique this doll as if it was a high-end, expensive doll. However, I'm still going to give you guys a proper adult review of this doll. So this year they've returned to a traditional paperboard box where it opens up from the top and the bottom. I do recommend opening from the bottom part of the box because this year they have this plastic window that's going across this top lid. So if you open this lid back and forth multiple times, it could crack this plastic. But here's the archway in the paperboard this year, so that the box and the doll can receive more light. So here is the font this year. It has a very classic 1940s look, but after looking at these snowflake designs, it looks more 1970s. This doll is made in Indonesia. Here's the graphic design on the sides of the box. And this year, the paperboard that they've used is very smooth and glossy, but it's still their standard paperboard that they use, so you need to be very careful when you're moving the box around and storing the doll. But this year they've returned to a classic Barbie look with the packaging. They have the promotional photo and an excerpt right here. And here are the other ethnicities that are available. So I'm going to open from the bottom lid, like I always do, because if you accidentally rip or damage the paperboard, it's easier to hide. So it's actually a little bit difficult to open these boxes because there's a little tab right here on the two corners. So you kind of need to use something to push in these tabs, because if you don't, it could rip open the paperboard. So even though I was very careful opening the lid, I did rip the paperboard right here. So again, I have opened this box before. There's two tabs right here holding in the front end of her train. So I'm just going to cut those right off. So here she is, fresh out of the box. So here's all the glitter on her train, which I tried to clean up in my other review. So here is one of the plastic tabs in the back, which I tried to show you in my last review. And there's the other tab. Here's the tab from the back of the box. and this is the last tab. So there's only 4 tabs altogether. You can see the certificate of authenticity is just placed into the box between this paperboard flap and the plastic fastener holding in her legs. So it is a very flimsy material, but it doesn't really matter because I never do anything with these certificate of authenticity. So this portion right here is holding in her legs, and I'm not going to remove that. This portion right here is holding in the base of her stand, and it's made out of this rubber silicone type of fastener, which has a little arrow right here. All you need to do is turn it so that it's parallel with the slit and push it out. Over here is a plastic fastener holding in her right arm, which I'm also going to just leave in there. So these plastic fasteners, one of them is holding in her waist, and this one is holding in her head and her hair. So all you need to do is fold these tabs over right here at the corner. You can also cut these corner tabs later because you don't need them to hold in to the box. And those corner tabs also add extra bulk to the packaging, so it makes it kind of difficult to slide this inner packaging back into the outer box. So make sure you push these in very carefully so you don't rip the paperboard. So now we want to slide her out of the leg fastener, and to do that, just open up the paperboard box right here on the sides. And now you want to remove her shoes. So while you're sliding out her feet, you also want to slide out her right arm out of the box. So here's the leg portion of her stand, and you just need to cut those right off because they're held in with plastic cables. So here's the part that's holding in the base of her stand. All you need to do is fold this plastic fastener in half so that you can push it through the hole. So you do want to keep this plastic fastener so that you can put the stand back in the box when you're not using it. And then you want to also close the paperboard box back up with these 2 flaps. Here's the back of the box with this beautiful graphic design of a Christmas tree and windows in a corner of a room. And at the top you can see there's an arch in the paperboard. So there's a lot of dimension to the packaging this year. So there's this plastic fastener that's holding in her left hand. So I'm going to completely cut this off and throw it away because we don't need that to display the doll. Again, we have one of these elastic, flexible plastic holders that's holding in her waist. All you need to do is turn the arrow so that it's parallel to the slit and slide it out. So you don't need any scissors. Okay? And then you slide the part out that doesn't have the arrow in it. And then you also want to keep this part so that you can put it back into the box. But for the sake of the review, I am going to take off this piece of tape that's holding in the thread. And the thread, you just need to pull it out. You don't need to cut it. And it should come off. So for this head holder, all you need to do is hold her head, and you need to lift off and pull out this plastic tray very quickly, and all of these tabs will come out. But if that doesn't work, you need to cut off these tabs right here as much as possible, and then whatever's left, you want to push it into her scalp using a needle or something. And then you want to take off her head, heat it up with a blow dryer, and then take off her head and shake off any of the tabs that are in her head. Okay, so I was able to do that on camera. So all that's left is to remove this plastic thing that's in the shoulder part of her dress. And there's 3 plastic cables. Also make sure you remove the leftover tabs that are in the dress. So as you can see, her earrings are very crooked. So all you need to do is take them out and bend them into position. Also, you want to do that very carefully so that you don't crack the vinyl, and also so that you don't chip the silver paint. Now I've gotten this one straight, so I'm going to go back to this one and try to get it straight. And I'm going to do that little by little and keep checking to see if it's straight. And part of this problem is because I think the way that they drill the piercing into her ear is like crooked and slanted, so that's also why her earrings aren't laying naturally straight down. Before I review the doll, I do want to show you guys how to use this stand, because I know a lot of people have trouble. So all you need to do is look at this top portion, and you can see that one side is larger than the other. So the stand should always be tilting and curving towards the left like this, so it's not damaged or like a defect. This is how the stand is supposed to look. And you just look at the base. The larger portion is the front, and that's the back. Just clip it in. And if it doesn't go all the way in the first time, all you need to do is keep turning it around until you hear that click. And then when you're sliding the doll into the stand, you should always go feet first. And sometimes her dress will be in the way. So these edges right here of the train was folded under so that it can go into the box, and I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to iron it, so that when I put her back in the box, her two flaps are going to be held into the box properly. But here's the dress. It has this 1940s, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s kind of look with a modern twist. It has this candy cane print, and there's little striations or lines of glitter right here throughout the dress. There's also glitter everywhere else, which is really going to be a pain to kind of clean off all this glitter. The fabric is a little bit sticky because of the glue for the glitter. The material is very similar to the 2016 actually. At first I thought that this material was a little bit softer and thinner, but it's the exact same material. But this part of the dress is made of slightly better fabric. It's a little bit softer and there's a lot of movement to it, so that it doesn't lay flat. Here's the back of her dress with the train, which is separate from the rest of the gown, and you can see that the candy cane print also continues to the back. You can see that the train is gathered up around her hips and her waist, and all of the seams on this dress is nicely done, nice and straight. And also she does have the Barbie collector tag under her gown here. And this bow portion of her gown is folded over from the front sash part right here. I don't know what this area is called, but the bow is nicely done. It's not flat or crushed. It has a lot of volume and shape to it. And this is the part that I didn't mention in my first review, is that this part is like separate from the gown, and they have like a piece of elastic under here for some reason. I don't know why. And these the pleats are actually sewn in so that they don't move. You can see there's like a gap right here. Right here there's a little bit of a dart to keep the gown fitting her perfectly. And here's the front of her train, which kind of goes down to her hip right here. Here's the side of her dress, and they've ended the red fabric at the seam right here on the side, which looks a little bit strange, but I don't know how else they could have done it to look better. Her fingernails are painted the same color as her lips, and she doesn't have painted toenails. Here are her earrings that we've all seen before in silver. She has red lips, and she has brown eyes with a little bit of a speck of green in them. And out of the three variations that you can get, I liked her eye shape the most and her eyebrow shape because it stands out. You don't really see this eyebrow shape in Barbies. And her eyelashes are a little bit of a different style. She doesn't have any blush on, but it's very subtle. She has silver on her brow bone, and she has hot pink or fuchsia on her crease and under her eye. She has a side part curled, and there is a little bit of gel or glue in it. Her hair is held in with an elastic, and it's not covered with hair. And her hair is nicely rooted. It's not too thin or too thick. So she has a little bit of thread hanging off right here, which is fine. You can just cut that off later. But she does have the exact same shoe as last year, except the color of red is more of a primary red, whereas last year it was more of an orange red. But here is, again, the seams are nicely done. There's the Barbie tag. So there's her feet. She doesn't have any toenail polish. And she does have hollow legs, so her legs aren't made out of vinyl like her arms. And you can tell that it's hollow because if it was made out of vinyl, it would be a little bit squishy. So that was the important part that I forgot to tell you guys in the other review. But here's her skin tone. I'm sorry I don't have any doll to compare this skin tone with, but she is a little bit lighter than the Made to Move soccer player. So here's the African American back in her box, so that I can show you guys that even though the doll was taken out, you can still put her back in the box and still look beautiful. I haven't customized her yet. So here are all of the Holiday Barbies together. These are all of the Holiday Barbies that I have. So I straightened out her hair and I painted her eyes a dark brown with acrylic paint. For the 2017, I just combed out her curls. For 2016, all I did was give her some blush so that she doesn't look so flushed and pale. For 2012, I straightened her hair, I cut it, and I gave her a little bit of a face paint so that she looked as Asian as possible, because we need some representation in Barbie. And here is the 1998, which I haven't really touched because she is older and I want to keep her as original as possible. But she does have an elastic in her hair that has corroded, and at some point I will remove that. You know what's really interesting now that I have this blue in the background was that this doll was released on July 1st, which is almost around July 4th. And when you see all the red, white, and blue together, you just feel really proud to be American, because right now we are having a lot of problems in our country. But I hope you guys enjoy the review, and if you guys have any questions about the Holiday Barbie, please leave me a comment and I will answer it. Hope you guys take care, and I'll see you guys in my next video.